I would appraise this book actually at about $40,000.
Let me tell you, you are lucky.
You probably saved my job.
Well, you can thank me with some chocolate or something.
Rebecca Romney appeared to be the ideal rare book specialist on Pawn Stars. Composed, intelligent, and personally trusted by Rick Harrison. However, in 2014, everything shifted dramatically. A stolen manuscript valued at $40,000 surfaced on the program. Subsequently, federal investigators intervened and interrogated Rebecca regarding how pilfered books reached national television. By January 2015, she had disappeared from the series without any explanation. No farewell, no official announcement. Today we're revealing what truly transpired behind the scenes and why the facts remained hidden for years. Rebecca Romney entered the world on April 6, 1985, in Phoenix, Arizona's desert landscape. Nothing in her early years suggested a future with rare manuscripts or million-dollar documents. She actually once remarked that ancient books were tedious artifacts for elderly gentlemen. Her aspiration was philosophy, perhaps translation work. She cherished languages, concepts, and profound discussions, elements completely unrelated to the auction industry she would eventually command. At 18, she enrolled in university, expecting to dedicate her career to academia. By 22, she had conquered 5.5 languages: English, French, Japanese, Latin, Ancient Greek, plus some Middle English. Her self-taught approach involved 12-hour daily study sessions. She once translated a 300 BC Greek papyrus for a university examination and achieved perfect marks. Professors were astounded, and these abilities would later help her identify forgeries that could have cost collectors millions. Between 2003 and 2007, she pursued philosophy and classical studies at Brigham Young University. While classmates selected safer academic paths, Rebecca engaged in 4-hour free-will debates and decoded ancient manuscripts in their original languages. She enrolled in additional courses, maintained a flawless GPA, and graduated with highest honors. Her thesis compared 2nd century Greek fragments of Plato's Republic. Nobody realized then that this unusual combination of philosophy and ancient linguistics was preparing her for something extraordinary. In 2007, immediately following graduation, she made an error that transformed her trajectory. Rebecca applied for what she believed was a standard management position at Bauman Rare Books in Philadelphia. Upon arriving for the interview, she discovered her misunderstanding of the job description. The position was for a rare book specialist, something completely outside her experience. She nearly departed. Instead, she remained, acknowledged her inexperience, and secured the position anyway. Her linguistic abilities captured their attention, which proved sufficient. Within months, she was managing books worth more than typical homes: a Shakespeare folio from 1623, pages from the Gutenberg Bible, first editions of Isaac Newton's Principia Mathematica. She was thrust into an environment where a single mistake could prove financially devastating. By 2010, merely 3 years later, she received promotion to gallery manager in Las Vegas at age 26. By 2013, at 29, she became the youngest senior director in company history. This role granted her control over catalogs, auctions, and private sales totaling over $10 million annually. One client paid $300,000 for a book printed in 1472. She excelled not only at selling but also at detecting fakes others missed entirely. Rick Harrison didn't discover Rebecca Romney through casting calls. He already knew her reputation. When she joined Bauman Rare Books in 2007 during their Las Vegas expansion, by 2010 she was managing the location. Rick had operated gold and silver pawn since 1989, and Las Vegas's rare books and antiques community was relatively small. Their paths intersected at local events, through mutual contacts, and via shared historical obsessions. When Rick needed someone who genuinely understood old paper, not just books, but documents, signatures, handwriting, he didn't request producers. Find an expert. He telephoned her directly. That call resulted in her first Pawn Stars appearance in 2011, not as a hired television personality, but as someone already trusted off-camera. Their friendship deepened after filming. They even double-dated. Fans were unaware that the calm, knowledgeable expert on screen wasn't merely a good fit, she was hand-picked. When she stepped before cameras for the first time in Season 4 on April 4, 2011, she received a stack of Civil War-era documents. Among them was a Confederate bond from 1861 potentially worth $5,000 if authentic. She examined paper texture, ink composition, even printing methods. Within 10 minutes, she exposed a forged signature that reduced the value from $10,000 to several $100s. Viewers were captivated. She spoke confidently, quietly, cross-referencing details while cameras rolled. By episode's end, she wasn't merely another guest expert, she was the book lady who stole the show. Ratings jumped 15%. From that moment forward, if the pawn shop acquired anything paper-based, books, letters, historical documents, Rebecca was their contact. Between 2011 and 2020, she appeared in approximately 30 episodes, with her most active period occurring during the first 4 years. During this time, she appraised everything from a $2,000 replica of a 1493 Columbus letter to an original Declaration of Independence broadside worth $15,000. In 2013, she amazed everyone by authenticating what proved to be notes linked to Edgar Allan Poe, hidden within a manuscript considered worthless. She even evaluated 19th century slave trade papers, explaining how to value something so deeply connected to historical pain. By 2014, she was conducting nearly 3/4 of the show's paper-related appraisals. Some assessments were difficult. She once debunked a counterfeit Shakespeare folio someone believed worth $10,000. It wasn't. Her distinguishing characteristic wasn't just knowledge, it was delivery style. Rebecca never raised her voice or appeared flustered. She could reveal bombshells like exposing a $50,000 book as part of an 1800s forgery ring while sounding as calm as explaining lunch plans. In 2012, Chumley nearly lost employment over an unchecked book purchase. He paid $500 for a signed Charles Lindbergh 1927 autobiography, mistakenly calling him Mark Lindbergh. Everyone suspected it was fake. Rick declared that if the signature didn't authenticate, Chumley's next day off would be permanent. Rebecca intervened once more. She produced a verified copy and compared signatures, noting how Lindbergh had modified his autograph style with increasing fame. The signature was genuine. She valued it at $2,500. Triple Chumley's payment. Beyond solid profit, it saved Chumley from termination, turning near disaster into one of his rare victories. Another incident involved someone presenting apparent Revolutionary War bonds, claiming enormous value. Rebecca's examination revealed a stranger truth. These weren't revolutionary, they were Confederate, and they weren't just rare, they were missing. These documents had vanished after the Civil War ended in 1865, linked to stolen Southern assets, loaded onto the USS Republic, which sank in a hurricane that same year. The wreck was discovered in 2003, with corroded contents recovered by 2005. These bonds were part of that history, potentially worth $50,000, but carried legal complications. Selling stolen items could result in lawsuits. Police involvement followed. Rebecca's careful research prevented the shop from purchasing something that might have become litigation, proving that history sometimes carries consequences. Then came the Shakespeare First Folio from 1623. Authentic copies have sold for millions. One reached $9.98 million in 2020. The seller's copy appeared impressive, but Rebecca's examination revealed flaws: improper paper aging, overly clean ink, and missing tiny imperfections that genuine 400-year-old books always possess. She believed it was counterfeit, possibly inspired by the misleading false folio of 1619 by William Jaggard and Thomas Pavier. Even those have value, but this wasn't close. Had Rick purchased it, the shop could have lost thousands. Her sharp observation saved them from one of Pawn Stars' costliest potential mistakes. In 2014, an episode aired that would quietly trigger one of the show's strangest rumors. A man entered Gold and Silver Pawn claiming possession of a rare 1841 Book of Mormon edition. Rebecca examined it carefully, estimating its value at $40,000, though the seller demanded $100,000. After negotiation, Rick purchased it for $24,000. On the surface, it seemed another profitable deal. Then things unraveled. Whispers spread that the book was stolen from the Marriott Library at the University of Utah. Shortly after the episode aired, federal agents allegedly intervened. The FBI, according to rumors, seized the book, leaving the pawn shop empty-handed. No official statement was released, no public charges filed, but the story gained momentum through Reddit threads and YouTube videos. In late 2014, around the supposed FBI involvement, Rebecca Romney was reportedly questioned by federal agents. According to Whispers, agents wanted to understand how stolen historical books could reach national television without raising alarms. This wasn't isolated. In 2015, the FBI had returned stolen books to Sweden's National Library. Earlier, in 2005 and 2006, they had arrested Forbes Smiley for stealing millions in rare maps. Romney was never accused of wrongdoing, but some believe the questioning profoundly affected her. She had become known for confidently appraising $1,000 books. Now her judgment was under scrutiny. January 10, 2015, marked Rebecca Romney's final Pawn Stars episode, where she appraised a 1734 pirate book worth $1,000, though Rick negotiated down to $400. Just like that, she vanished. After 4 years and 19 episodes, there was no goodbye. The History Channel offered no explanation for her absence. Forums exploded with questions. Had she been terminated? Was it scandal-related? Some suspected she left following personal tragedy. Others pointed to the show's growing criticism, accusations of staged appraisals, fabricated deals, and behind-the-scenes conflicts. Fans noticed something peculiar. Despite vanishing from the show, Rebecca never removed Pawn Stars from her LinkedIn profile. Today, she still lists herself as their rare book expert from 2011 to present. Some believe it's marketing, others suspect non-disclosure agreement requirements. Either way, it maintains her connection to a show she hasn't regularly appeared on in years. In 2016, she relocated to Philadelphia. Officially, it was for promotion, leaving the Las Vegas gallery to become senior director at Bauman Rare Books, handling library acquisitions and catalogs. She later worked in Brooklyn, eventually settling in Washington, D.C., where she co-founded a new rare book company. Yes, there was reasonable explanation for her departure, but timing raised eyebrows. Why did the move occur months after the Book of Mormon scandal? Was it genuine career advancement, or was something else happening behind closed doors? By 2022, fans briefly glimpsed her again. In a Pawn Stars Do America special episode, she rejoined the crew in Washington, D.C., appraising another pirate book. Her chemistry with the team remained unchanged. She teased Chumley, joked with Corey, but it only made her long absence more puzzling. In 2016, Rebecca married J.P. Romney, an author and historical researcher who shared her book passion. The story became more unusual due to JP's family connections to major American politics. He was distantly related to Mitt Romney, the 2012 presidential candidate who captured nearly half the nation's votes. Through marriage, Rebecca found herself loosely connected to a dynasty, including former Michigan Governor George Romney, 1963-1969. Despite these connections, she's never met Mitt Romney. The relationship was real, but distant, more name than relationship. Her Pawn Stars fame remained fresh. She had appeared from 2011 to 2015, once appraising a rare 1507 map worth $1 million. By 2023, the marriage had ended. JP was now her ex-husband, and fans speculated whether politics had influenced her journey. Rebecca insisted her rare book world path was entirely her own. The year after marriage, she and JP co-wrote a surprising book. Printer's Error, Irreverent Stories from Book History, was published March 14, 2017. Across 368 pages, the book uncovered strange, forgotten printing history moments, forged Galileo works, Charles Dickens's 1840s copyright battles, and the E.A. Gutenberg Bible mystery, printed in 1455 but never actually mentioning Gutenberg by name. Only 48 copies still exist, each worth tens of millions. The book combined Rebecca's real-world expertise with JP's storytelling successfully. Critics praised it, sales were strong, and it gave her something few reality TV stars achieve, a respected voice beyond the screen. That same year, Rebecca was remembered for her 2013 Pawn Stars appraisal of a $100,000 Shakespeare folio, and JP had published his novel, The Monster on the Road Is Me. Together, the project marked a creative pinnacle, but also became one of their final public collaborations. Rebecca Romney didn't just leave reality TV, she departed with a strategy. In 2019, after years on Pawn Stars, she co-founded rare book firm Type Punch Matrix in Silver Spring, Maryland. This wasn't merely a quaint antique shop tucked in a corner. It was a statement. Alongside partner Brian Cassidy, she built a business that shattered every antiquarian world convention. Their inventory wasn't just expensive, it was bold. Shakespeare folios, Gutenberg Bible leaves, and titles that were rare and radical. Within a year, they were selling to elite clients, moving pieces worth hundreds of thousands, even millions. In a field mostly run by older men, Rebecca stood out, sharp, vocal, and unafraid to challenge established rules. Her rebellion began earlier. In 2017, she and Heather O'Donnell created the Honey and Wax Book Collecting Prize, $1,000 annually to women under 30 who assembled the most original, surprising book collections. Cost didn't matter, meaning did. A tattoo artist won in 2023 with Hybrid Botanical Works. A national security analyst won in 2024 with military-themed collections. Rebecca had noticed something disturbing. Women were passionate about collecting, but hesitant to call themselves collectors. This prize changed that. Backed by Biblio and Christie's, it provided visibility, confidence, and genuine rare book world positioning. By 2025, it had honored 9 women and inspired countless more. That same year brought another change. Rebecca released Jane Austen's Bookshelf on February 18, 2025. This wasn't just a book, it was a literary bombshell. It attacked what she termed the Great Forgetting, how women writers who shaped Austen's world were erased from history. Frances Burney, Anne Radcliffe, Charlotte Smith, these women were once best-selling names with 1,000-copy print runs. Now, most of their work is out of print. Rebecca investigated thoroughly, revealing that only 10–15% of 18th-century novels by women survive today, compared to 40% for men. She didn't just identify the problem, she provided proof, book by book, number by number, and readers responded. The New York Times called it sharp and fearless. The Washington Post said it was thrilling. The Guardian called it instinctive and electric. Within weeks, it sold over 20,000 copies. What shocked people most? Rebecca admitted she hadn't heard of most women she was writing about. Not during her degree, not even during her rare book dealer career. She'd read the men, Richardson, Fielding, but never Charlotte Lennox or Maria Edgeworth, even though Austen had. That realization struck her powerfully. Her entire education had quietly erased these voices. If someone like her hadn't recognized it, how many others had missed it too? She began collecting in 2015, searching for original editions by women who shaped Austen, Frances Burney's Evelina from 1778, Radcliffe's The Mysteries of Udolpho from 1794, Charlotte Smith's Emmeline from 1788, these weren't easy to locate. Many were lost or dismissed as sentimental or frivolous because women wrote them. She flew to auctions, hunted through estates, and once battled bidders for a 1759 copy of The Female Quixote by Charlotte Lennox. By 2025, her collection had grown to over 50 rare books, each one a resurrection. She didn't stop at collecting. She used those books as evidence. She tracked how many were printed, how many survived, how critics treated them. She discovered that women's books were far less likely to be saved, reprinted, or taught in schools. Even though Radcliffe helped inspire Poe, Shelley, and the entire Gothic tradition, her work was excluded from the canon. Frances Burney sold 3,000 copies in the 18th century but disappeared by 1850. Charlotte Smith's poetry helped shape Wordsworth's career, yet she faded into near silence. Rebecca Romney's story doesn't begin in an old library, but under Los S. Vegas pawn shop neon lights, where she first appeared as a television rare book expert. Yet that unlikely beginning took her into American bibliophilia's most exclusive circles. One is the Grolier Club in New York, founded in 1884, the country's oldest and most elite book collectors' society. Only 825 people worldwide can claim membership. In May 2025, Rebecca will deliver a lecture there titled Jane Austen's Bookshelf, Collecting as Investigation. That talk began with a single 2023 moment when she discovered a Victorian edition of Evelina by Frances Burney. That book changed everything, leading her down a path of uncovering women who once inspired Austen but were mostly erased from the canon. She isn't just recounting literary history, she's actively rewriting it. Since 2015, she's also been a cornerstone of antiquarian book seminars. Annually, over 100 aspiring rare book dealers gather to learn from her. She tells them truths most never hear, that the rare book world isn't always pure. She speaks openly about the Thomas J. Wise forgeries of the 1930s, a scandal involving more than 50 fake first editions that fooled experts for decades. She demonstrates how collecting isn't just about owning, it's about uncovering. Her lessons go deeper than market value, revealing hidden fingerprints of authors forgotten by history. She's also transforming rare book authentication. In 2019, she co-founded Type Punch Matrix, but it wasn't just another book firm. By 2023, she was using AI and blockchain to authenticate provenance, with a test case involving a $50,000 Sylvia Plath manuscript. The software could trace ownership back to 1956. This leap wasn't accidental. It grew from frauds exposed in her 2017 book, Printer's Error, which explored forged book history like fake 1840s Gutenberg Bibles. By 2022, she was working with tech